What do The Matrix, The Walking Dead, Batman, and Star Wars all have in common? We're talking about them in Comic Book Now. What's up, Comic Book Nation? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Comic Book Now. We're back. I'm your host, Brandon Davis, call me BD, joined again by Charlie Ridgely.
What's up, y'all? It's good to be back after a week, man. It feels good. Everything feels right again.
I'm gonna tell you something. When we take this week off in between and we get time to make this show bigger, better, extended, all these things, I get more excited just to be here and be talking to everybody. So thank you so much for joining us. But I do have to let everybody know, we are not actually live right now. We are not really in the studio right now. It says live, but this was recorded previously. At the time of this broadcast, I'm actually in Los Angeles attending a screening of Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal's new movie, Life, which I'm very excited about because I'll be talking to them Saturday at South by Southwest. So if you have questions, send them my way on Twitter or in the comments section right here. I will come and check. We like to get your questions answered. And on Friday at Paley Fest, I'm talking to the cast of The Walking Dead cast and crew. They're doing a big Paley Fest event. We have 3 episodes left. We're going to talk about that. So send the questions my way.
Yeah, and if you send questions, I'll be reading them because I'm not in LA, so I'll be at home in my pajamas eating some ice cream or something, and I'm definitely checking out what you're saying. So be sure to keep those comments
right.
rolling.
And in just a couple minutes, we will have Chris Killian actually live to give us if there was any breaking news on Thursday, but we'll get to that. First of all, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I like to take a topic, dive into it to start the show. This week, Wonder Woman and Guardians of the Galaxy have both kind of been the hot button topics. They both have new trailers, new TV spots, all kinds of stuff. The marketing push is really, they're both coming out in May and June respectively, so we're starting to see a lot of these movies. Wonder Woman got a trailer. This new trailer right here shows Diana learning her Amazon warrior ways, and it showed more about the movie than ever before. This was from the Kids' Choice Awards. I thought this trailer was fantastic. It didn't make the reveals that the Batman vs. Superman trailer 3 did. She's learning to use her powers right there, which looks awesome. And I love that trailer. Guardians of the Galaxy, also new trailer this week. TV spots left and right. Very humorous stuff, poop jokes, all kinds of stuff. It doesn't seem to be taking itself too seriously. It's matching the tone of the first one and even seems to be upping the humor factor, which I feel like might be sequel syndrome. But I want to talk to you, Charlie. First of all, which of these trailers do you think wins? The most recent Guardians 2 trailer or Wonder Woman?
Just the recent Guardians, just the
Wonder Woman. Most recent trailers.
Okay, Wonder Woman, hands down.
I completely agree.
I mean, I think that as a whole, the Guardians trailers have been fantastic. Those first 2 especially, those first 2 full-length trailers were out of this world. No pun intended there. But they were awesome. The first Wonder Woman trailer was good.
Right.
It had me a little excited, but this one I think took what the first one did and did so much more. And like you said, I think they learned from the BVS thing. No matter your thoughts on BVS, it's out of the question. I'm not pointing to that, but the Doomsday reveal, we didn't need that. That would have been a great moment in the movie. And I think with Wonder Woman, they're being really careful to not reveal stuff like we're not going to see Ares.
I mean, I remember watching that last Batman vs. Superman trailer on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and we were all talking about it in our comic book group chat. And I just thought I had watched the whole movie. I had a feeling like that was awesome. I just watched Batman vs. Superman in 3 minutes, and that was the problem. I don't think Wonder Woman has done that at all. I think there is a lot going on in Wonder Woman that we don't know about. I like the rumor that Bruce Wayne's going to pop up. I think that that's a really cool thing that hasn't even been teased in the trailers. But this is a Batman cinematic universe, so it's not surprising. I think Guardians is trying to keep things vague. They're trying to keep things open for interpretation, which I think is kind of hurting the marketing campaign. Now, that's not going to hurt their box office. I think people are so excited for Guardians Volume 2, myself included. I don't think anyone in this office is more excited for that movie than I am. And if anybody at home watching thinks you're more excited than me, guess again. I am so excited for Volume 2. The first one is one of my all-time favorite films. But these trailers, the first one was my favorite. Since then, I haven't been a huge fan. I feel like it was the Kids' Choice Awards trailer, so poop jokes, cool, we get it. You know your audience. Which trailers? I think Wonder Woman is the winner as well. But let's talk about the box office. Which movie do you think will make more money?
That's really tough because on one hand, Guardians has the success going in. The first one was such a big film. And not just the Guardians films. I mean, the MCU has been so successful over 10 years. The
lowest grossing film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was Captain America, the First Avenger, made $370 million worldwide. Now that's the lowest grossing. Ant-Man came along years later when the Marvel Cinematic Universe was much more established. Ant-Man is nowhere near exciting as Wonder Woman. Don't try to tell me that Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, I don't care what they did with that movie. There's no way to make that movie as exciting as Wonder Woman. No, I loved Ant-Man, but it's not as exciting as a title, and you can't make trailers for that. This is the first female superhero. You can't even compare them.
Not only is it the first female superhero, I mean, that's going to drive a ton of crowds as it is.
Right.
But it's also it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, no offense, Captain Marvel is going to be awesome, but Captain Marvel doesn't have the history and the lore that Wonder Woman does. I mean, it doesn't carry the name of Wonder Woman.
Right.
And so when you put those things together, no matter what people feel about Suicide Squad or BVS, they're going to flock to the theater.
So let me put some numbers from the DCEU on you real quick. Batman vs. Superman, $873 million. Man of Steel, $668 million. Suicide Squad, $745 million. Man of Steel, the lowest of the bunch.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even compare to the lowest Marvel movie. Now, obviously, this came at a time where comic book movies were much more popular. Everybody and it's Superman, so he is.
Right.
I mean, Superman and Captain America, they're both very well-known heroes. But the first Avenger came at a time where superhero movies were really just launching these universe-style films. I think Guardians tops Wonder Woman, but I think Wonder Woman has a massive box office. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film, $773 million as a debut. It wasn't even tied to the Avengers yet. All they said was from the studio that brought you Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, the Avengers. I don't know if they put the Hulk on there because that was technically Universal.
Yeah.
But $773 million, that's a lot of money for a debut.
It's a lot of money.
And they are hitting all their audiences with these advertisements are hitting the kids.
I agree with you, and I think that you are correct in what you're saying.
Breaks $1 billion. I don't know if Wonder Woman does.
I don't think Guardians 2 breaks $1 billion. I think we're going to see right around 900,000 worldwide.
900 million?
900 million, yeah, sorry, not 1,000. That would be bad. It'd be really bad. 900 million worldwide. I think it's going to break the first one, but I don't think that it conquers Wonder Woman for a couple of reasons. One, like we talked about, it's the character. I mean, Wonder Woman takes that name. People are going to flock to that. But on top of that, you watch those Wonder Woman trailers, and something that so far in the DCEU that we haven't seen is a trailer that you want to take your kids to. You know, if I've got little kids, I mean, not super little, not 3 or 4, but you know, I've got young kids, and we see that BVS trailer, I don't have any interest, even though I want to see it, in taking them to go see that movie. It just doesn't look like something they're going to enjoy. Same with Suicide Squad. It looked a little bit above their level. Where with Wonder Woman, I'm bringing the whole family. I'm taking everybody because it has that light aspect. It has that fun. It has a lead that kids can attach to. It has humor, like we saw from both Steve Trevor and Etta Candy in that trailer. And I think that more people are going to go. This is such an accessible movie for everyone. And I think that Hollywood's really going to be behind it because it's a female-driven story.
Yeah, I can get with that.
I see Wonder Woman being one of the biggest successes of the year. I mean, I think obviously Justice League will top it if Wonder Woman's successful.
Right.
But I think Wonder Woman slightly edges out Guardians. Spider-Man beats them both.
Should we make a bet? You think Spider-Man Homecoming? Oh, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a debate for another time.
Spider-Man's going to be
Spider-Man tops either of them. But I think Guardians wins. We can make a bet on this off camera. I'll make sure to film it and get another XXX tattoo.
It will not be a tattoo.
But really quickly, before we move on, which movie will be a better movie? Which one are you going to leave the theater and like it better?
That's really tough. I don't know if I can answer that as of now. I know what I'm going to get with Guardians. Actually, I really think that I'll leave happier from Wonder Woman. Okay. Not because I think anything's going to be better. You and I have talked a lot recently about expectations and managing those. I think my expectations going into Guardians are much higher because the first one, it's so much to live up to. And Wonder Woman, the slate's pretty clean. Yeah. You know, I liked Gal Gadot's performance. I think I'm going to like the movie, but that's all the expectation I have. Right. So I think because of that, I will leave Wonder Woman happier than I leave Guardians. But I would like to be wrong also because I love Guardians. I want it to stand up.
We'll see what happens. We're a couple months away from both of those. But speaking of expectations, we're only a couple days away from Iron Fist hitting Netflix. It's gotten some mixed reviews so far. From what I've heard, the first episode's a little slow. Episodes 5 and 6 really pick up, and then they leave you hanging, and that's all they sent out. So they got the critics hooked, I think, a lot of them. But there's a lot of conversation about Finn Jones's body for this Danny Rand Iron Fist thing.
A lot of conversation about Finn Jones as a whole right now.
So here's the thing. There's a couple different ways to approach a superhero when you want to be a superhero in live action. You can train like Chris Hemsworth, or you can make something up, or you can train like Iron Fist. Chris Killian, our morning show, The Get Up host, he decided he wanted to try out for Iron Fist, and he took a very method approach from reading the comics. Check this out. now that's one way.
I mean, chopsticks are hard, man. Like, I have trouble with chopsticks.
Chopsticks
Let's
are
be
not
real.
that hard.
Chopsticks are hard.
There is another way. Speaking of chopsticks, speaking of eating, I went the Finn Jones route. I think I got in touch with the actor's trainer, and I went the Finn Jones more method approach to the Iron Fist training. Check this out. That was actually so much chocolate. That shirt was so tight, literally the only way I could get it off, I had to actually rip it. Like, and I was something I always wanted to do, was rip a shirt off, and I did that.
It took him way longer than he's making it seem like.
No, it was on Snapchat. I was proud of it. If you guys want this Iron Fist costume, let us know in the comment section. We'll mail it to you. How about our top stories of the... I'm serious, I'll mail it. Guys, we talk about the Matrix on the show all the time. We want a Matrix 4. We might be getting a Matrix reboot. This is the news that's been going around this week. Matrix reboot, Matrix 1.0, whatever you want to call it. Here's the downside of a Matrix reboot. The Wachowskis will not be involved. Their last film, Jupiter Ascending, not such a hit, but the new reports coming out from the Hollywood Reporter say they're not going to be involved, which would also mean no Keanu Reeves. I don't know how you have a Matrix movie without Keanu Reeves, but in an interview with Yahoo while promoting John Wick Chapter 2, Keanu said he would do a Matrix only if the Wachowskis were involved. Now, the rumor here is that Michael B. Jordan is going to be at the lead. When you think of Michael B. Jordan, you immediately think of the Fantastic Failure, the Fantastic Four. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you think
look,
of?
I like Michael B. Jordan. I've met him. He's a nice guy. But the only thing I think about when I think of him as an actor is Fantastic Four.
Oh, come on, man.
Look, Charlie, what's your favorite Michael B. Jordan movie?
Creed. 100% Creed, absolutely.
But I still think of Fantastic Four because I'm a nerd and I think of comic book movies.
I never watched it, so.
Look, I'm all for a Matrix movie. Honestly, and I'll give it a fair shot with Michael B. Jordan at the lead because I love that concept. I love that story. I've watched anime of the Matrix. I think it's all fantastic. There's a lot of unexplored story. This could be a reboot. This could just be a soft, like a Mad Max Fury Road type thing where it just picks up somewhere else. And maybe Neo is out there somewhere.
I mean, Mad Max Fury Road is maybe the best Mad Max movie, so maybe there's hope here. The only thing...
And that's from Warner Brothers as well.
Yeah, well, the Warner Brothers thing is what throws me off here. Because Michael B. Jordan is currently in the MCU.
Right.
So does that mean we're only seeing him in one movie if he's talking to Warner Brothers about something else, or is...
Well, he's Eric Killmonger. He's the villain of Black Panther. I'm not expecting him to be a recurring... the only villains who get to recur are Thor villains. So
that's a fact.
But, I did say something when we talked about The Matrix 4 a while ago when the Keanu Reeves news came out. I was talking to one of our Comic Book Now loyal viewers, Randy Pena, and I kind of owe him a movie ticket.
I think in the comments, we found you a new best friend, Brandon.
Scott Eastwood's in there?
No. Randy Pena. Randy is all about this Matrix 4 news.
Randy,
actually, yeah.
Randy Pena tweeted me before the show to remind me to talk about that. But if Matrix 4 does happen, Randy Pena, I'm going to buy you a ticket.
All right. You heard it here. Randy Pena and you are going to the movies.
No, we're not going together. I'm just buying him a ticket.
Okay. All right.
So I did say we're not going to... If it's in the budget, Randy, maybe you'll come out here. Maybe I'll come to you, but I'll probably just end up buying you a ticket. But I'm going to stick to it if this movie happens. How about we talk about the Batman? The script is getting completely rewritten. That's the new rumor, which could mean a couple of things. I hope it means we get more warehouse fight scenes like this because everyone loved it, and maybe they're reading the internet comment sections. But there's question marks. Is Deathstroke still going to be involved? The rumors at first, and I mean, this was confirmed. There's footage of it. There's test footage of it.
Yeah.
Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. I absolutely think Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke is still involved.
Yeah, I mean, the actor himself is so behind this project. He's pumping it up everywhere he goes.
He'll be on a hockey talk show radio just to talk about
the Batman.
And he'll say, we're going to start production soon. So he
was on Robert Irvin's site, the guy that does like Restaurant Rescue or whatever it's called. Like, he was on that site talking about fitness and health and talking about his Batman part. Like, he wants to do this. He's not going to be out. I don't think they made a good casting, and they wouldn't say like, oh, well, forget that. Like, They wouldn't make that mistake. He's going to still be around.
And I completely support that, because if I was casting a Batman movie and they were talking about rewrites, I'd be like, don't forget about me, because I want to be in the Batman movie. But is this the beginning of the end for Ben Affleck's Batman? Does this mean that Ben Affleck wants out, they're realizing it, and they're going to write him out and write in Nightwing? Maybe.
Maybe. But I want to look at this as a good thing. I talked about this a little bit earlier today. Like, Ben Affleck, at the end, Nightwing, all that aside, Matt Reeves jumped on the project, and he's not okay with just taking, like, oh, someone else wrote this is someone else's vision, I'll just go with what I can do. Like, he wants to have complete say from the ground up, because it's his movie and he wants to make it the right way.
Yep.
And that gives me a lot of hope for what the Batman's doing, because Matt Reeves is a talented director and he's got a lot of vision for it. So I think this is a good thing.
I think it could be a good thing too. Maybe it means creatively Jeff Johns is getting more involved. They're going to start from the ground up and listen to people and realize their mistakes and what they've learned from critics and everything from Batman vs Superman. But also good news for Ben Affleck. He revealed this week he's been treated for alcohol addiction, which congratulations to him for kicking that habit, which is awesome. But also, I know the question mark here, because we all are wondering about the Batman. It did not affect his work on the Batman, is what he said in the statement. He said this was the first of many steps being taken towards a positive recovery. Yeah. So all the best to Ben Affleck in that. I think that's a brave move to come out and say that. And to be in such a spotlight, you got to feel pressure with an announcement like that. And you have to respect
I mean, you look at all the stars in the world. I mean, he's in the biggest spotlight, arguably, of everybody. And he's willing to admit what's going on in his life. And that's huge.
Exactly. Moving on, The Walking Dead. I love to talk about this show. It's one of my favorites, and we're going to do it. There's only 3 episodes left in season 7 of The Walking Dead. It feels like just yesterday we were talking about who did Negan kill. I was in Starbucks talking to my barista. Who do you think he killed? But now we are wondering who is going to die before the season's over. And there's a few candidates. There's a few really likely candidates. She is one of them.
One really likely candidate.
I think Sasha is going to go. And I know a lot of people are going to have mixed feelings about that. But there's a couple reasons behind it. Sonequa Martin Green, the actress who plays Sasha, joined the cast of CBS's Star Trek Discovery series. And Holly, Abraham's girlfriend when he died in the comics, died in the comics. And we are seeing all those elements applied, all those character traits applied to Sasha. She's willing to sacrifice herself. Her and Rosita are on a mission. I think she's going to go.
And, and then this latest clip where she goes to Enid and she's like, hey, give this to Maggie's baby for me when it's born.
Right.
It's like, well, the baby, like, Maggie's not even showing yet. Like, it's going to be a while. Like, you're not planning on coming back from this mission. And it sucks. Like, if you're a Walking Dead fan, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. And I love Sasha, so this sucks to think about, but like the writing's on the wall, and the Walking Dead is
on
never,
the pages of Robert Kirkman's comics.
Like they've never been secretive, with the exception of who Negan kills. Like you kind of see it coming a lot of the time, and it's really being set up.
Speaking of seeing it coming, saviors who are likely to die. I have 3 picks. I think David, Simon, and Jared are most likely to go before the season ends. Who do you think?
Jared, 100%. As long as it's not Dwight,
Oh, if they kill Dwight, I'll
like that would not just for me as a fan of the show, like, oh, here's this story gone, but as a fan of the comic,
right?
Like, he's so powerful in the comic, and I don't want to lose that.
That would be a major betrayal with Dwight, wouldn't it? See what I did there?
And
now one last thing about The Walking Dead. The ratings have slid. Do you think, and now the ratings may have come out since I did say we are not actually live right now. We recorded this yesterday, Wednesday. The ratings may have come out. Do you think they're going to dip below 10 million this season? They were 10.16 last week, which was the lowest since season 3. They had 9.21 million viewers back in 306. There was an episode called Hounded. It was the governor and Andrea. That's the last time they were in the 9 million mark with 7-digit ratings. Do you think they're going to drop below 10 million before season 7 ends?
I do. I think that if it didn't happen this week, it happens next week. Even though this past week was the best episode in years, I think that it was all a Kingdom episode and some people kind of lost interest. And then this coming week, everyone knows that it's Sasha and Rosita by themselves. Everyone's still watching this show. They're just watching it days later on demand and on their DVR. So I think that people are caring less to tune in as it happens, and I think we will dip. But I think the last 2 episodes we'll see a major bounce back up.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think guns and explosions and previews are going to bring people back.
And Negan and Rick.
And our last topic of the day, Star Wars, a new teaser, a description of the teaser has surfaced online. So here it is. If you don't want to know it, earmuffs. But here's what they're saying. Luke Skywalker asks, "Who are you?" Poe Dameron is in his X-Wing yelling, "Now or never." There's shots of BB-8, Captain Phasma, Chewbacca, and Finn dressed as a First Order officer. Rey's hand is seen on the ground with all 5 fingers in the shot, with the dirt moving, kind of reminding me of Superman's funeral.
Yeah.
And then Luke is seen overlooking Rey training with his lightsaber on that island they were last seen in The Force Awakens, which is very interesting. There is more of a description available on comicbook.com/Star Wars. But I think it's almost easy to not be super excited about Star Wars because the news comes so few and far between since we only get 1 movie a year. But then you get this news and you're like, oh, episode 8, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
It's also hard. I mean, I will have no problem getting excited for Star Wars when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But it's in December.
I get to wear my RTD
and we've got Spider-Man, Guardians, Wonder Woman, Justice League. What's the other one?
We have
There's another.
Kingsman, we have Thor.
Kingsman's coming out. Thor. All of this is coming out beforehand.
There's a lot.
So once December hits, I will be in full Star Wars mode, super excited.
And this weekend, you forgot the big one, Beauty and the Beast opens up. My gosh, disrespectful. But since I just mentioned we are not actually live, we have Chris Killian, who stayed back in the studio to update us if there was any breaking news throughout the day on Thursday that we may have missed in this show. So let's check in with Chris Killian real quick.
Thanks, BD. Chris Killian here with some breaking news on Comic Book Now. And the breaking news is that I also had to leave early, so this isn't actually live either. But up until like 2 o'clock Eastern time, no breaking news. But we here at ComicBook.com absolutely want to provide you guys with the most up-to-date happenings, which is why I'm going to toss this to one of our favorite in-office correspondents right now. What do you have for us, person in the office?
This just in, Venom is now joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe on October 5th, 2018. We don't know much else, so that's it.
Wow, can you guys believe that news? I can barely contain it. Back to you, BD.
Wow, that is unbelievable news. I cannot believe the new Justice League trailer hit, or that thing. No, hopefully it wasn't the Justice League trailer. I'll be devastated. But thanks, Chris. You're so great at being live, and so are we. But now it's time for my favorite part of the show, where we answer the questions, comments, concerns. Scott Eastwood, what do we got, Charlie? What do they want to talk about?
All right, so last week during the show, we didn't get a chance to get to this question, so we wanted to get to it now. Mark Overin asked an awesome question. Can a lightsaber cut through Wolverine's claws? You know, adamantium is the strongest metal substance known to man, and lightsabers are lightsabers. There's no description needed there. So what wins in that face-off?
I think the lightsaber wins. I think that the lightsaber cuts through.
I think that you could be right. I also think you could see just like, here's the claws, lightsaber just goes straight through and nothing happens.
You think they just kind of...
No, I think the lightsaber just like it would be, light or something. It just passes right through and there's... I don't know.
It's not going to cut the lightsaber. Actually, though, we were having this debate before the show, and our studio operations manager, Adam Frost, he is very opinionated on the subject. Can we go to the control room just to get his opinion real quick?
No. A lightsaber would never go through adamantium. It's obvious. No.
He's a very opinionated guy.
Yeah.
Clearly very strongly opinionated. Don't mess with Adam Frost. We call him Frost Giant for a reason. More interesting question. What happens if a lightsaber meets Captain America's shield?
I guess it's the same debate.
Yeah, same debate. Anyway, let's take it to the next. Sorry we didn't answer that. We didn't answer that at all.
I don't know how to answer that. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, Liam Neeson shoved the lightsaber through like 4 metal walls, but then they weren't adamantium, so I don't know. I don't know.
If you ever find out, let us know.
Claws and lightsabers can go through dudes' skulls, we've learned, so it's fine. All right. So on Facebook, Errol Willis wanted to know if we think that Justice League will introduce Nightwing. They confirmed Nightwing's happening with director Chris McKay in the future. Do we think Justice League is the time we meet him?
I could see that happening. I really think that's a plausible expectation. I think, now I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I don't think that would be a huge, it would be a huge surprise of watching that movie to meet Nightwing, but I don't think that that's an unrealistic expectation because they have to introduce Nightwing. We are excited about Nightwing. Our group of the people watching and us, the people we talk to, because we're a bunch of nerds, we are so excited about Nightwing because we love the character. We've been following the character for so long. The rest of the world isn't really super up to date on who Nightwing is. They don't know his real name. They don't even know that Nightwing exists a lot of the world. I'd go as far as say 90% of people. If you went into Starbucks and said, who is Nightwing? They'd be like, I don't know, Negan killed Glenn. But so I think that's a good opportunity because Justice League, there's going to be more eyeballs on Justice League than any other DC movie in the next 4 years. So with the exception of maybe the Batman. So it wouldn't. I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be hugely surprised.
The only way we actually see Nightwing in the movie is in some kind of post-credit scene because I mean Justice League had finished shooting before they announced Nightwing. So whether they either already had that in the plans or that's been added to the plans since, and if that's the case, they couldn't do it. I think we will see a reference to Dick Grayson in the movie, but I think that's as far as we go. I think the Batman is where they really push Nightwing into the
I'm all for it. I bring Nightwing. Can't come soon enough.
All right, last question. Over on Twitter, remember, you guys can tweet us anytime using hashtag CBNow, and we will read it. I mean, any time of day, Brandon and I, one of the two, will see your tweets. So continue to ask us questions. One of our favorite question askers over there, Andrew Hayes, he's always asking us some great stuff. He wants to know, going into Infinity War, do you think Thor will be wielding Mjolnir, his big hammer, or a Yarnborn? If Mjolnir is gone, how did he lose her? Before we dive into that, because we've seen some teases that Mjolnir's gone, before we really go into that, I want to focus on Andrew Hayes. He had a new Twitter picture. If you watched our show, you've seen Andrew Hayes' stuff on here a lot. His profile picture on Twitter looks a little bit different today. That's BD and Scott Eastwood.
Wow.
If you couldn't read the heart-shaped note in the bottom of the picture.
That is a fantastic picture, Andrew Hayes. That's actually, he took that picture. That's actually me and Scott.
Yeah. I heard he was kind of sneaking around. You asked him to take some candid photos.
I actually cut off all of Britt Robertson's hair.
Yeah.
And I wore it.
It's a little weird.
And we were just on set. I was wearing a Britt Robertson wig of The Longest Ride. Yeah. And they let me bring my glasses. But I don't even know what picture of me that is. But Andrew Hayes getting creative.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm excited or creeped out.
Anyway,
back to the question.
Mjolnir. When we saw the Thor Ragnarok stuff, Mjolnir was not there. He lost the
Right.
hammer. What do you think about that?
I don't know what I can say about that. I was on the set of Thor and might know a couple things.
From someone who wasn't on the set of Thor.
Yeah, let's let Charlie
if you read the modern comics, Jason Aaron's run, he lost Mjolnir because
Are you
Mjolnir
talking
deemed
about
him
Thor,
unworthy.
God of Thunder?
Thor, God of Thunder. I'm talking about Unworthy Thor. I'm talking about all of Jason Aaron's stuff. Original Sin. You learned that Thor did something in his past, which is going to be revealed sometime soon. We don't know what that is as readers. So Mjolnir decided Thor was no longer worthy enough to hold it, and he has to be without it. Now, if he's going to Planet Hulk, there might be someone removed it from him, if that's possible, or kept him away from it.
Well, we did see in the photos that came out last week that he's going to be fighting with swords.
They were awesome swords, though.
They look really cool. So yeah, there's the answer to that question as stated by Charlie Ridgely, guys. And that is all we have time for today, guys. As I said at the top of the show, I am currently in Los Angeles watching a screening of Life. Tomorrow night, I'll be talking with the cast of The Walking Dead. So if you have questions for them, send them my way. Saturday, I'll be talking with Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, and the cast and crew of Life, the new sci-fi movie. And you will see all those interviews here on Thursday. So if you guys have questions, you want to be featured, and you want them answered, send them my way now on Twitter, @Brandon Davis. But you need to catch up with Charlie Ridgely, @Charlie Ridgely. So on behalf of Charlie and all of Comic Book Nation, we will be back Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Comic Book Now. Thanks for watching.